welcome to this 20-minute body scan. Begin by finding yourself a position of support and comfort, perhaps lying on the ground with the body supported by the floor beneath you, or if seated, a position that allows for an upright, noble posture with support for the body. And settling into this position, allowing the mind to arrive in this moment where the body has already come. Taking note of busyness that might be present, perhaps from the day leading up to this moment, or a call of things to come after. Just acknowledging that activity has its purpose, but that for the next 20 minutes you may make a choice to be here. So bringing to mind an intention that you may carry for this meditation today. Perhaps to cultivate quiet or peacefulness, or perhaps an intention to take the time to practice your meditation. Whatever intention has brought you to arrive on this cushion in this moment, allowing that to come to mind, to let it arise, and then lightly allow it to move to the back of the mind. Simply resting, its presence may be felt, but not holding too tightly. Finding ourselves tuning inward to our breath, with the inhale serving as an entry into awareness of the body, and our exhale a release. This steady rhythm, always present, may serve as our anchor as we move through the body scan today. The breath is always present, always in the moment, and therefore coming back to the breath may be a way to anchor back into what is here now. So with the breath, moving the attention all the way down to the very bottom of the feet and the tips of the toes. So bringing awareness to the toes of both feet. Noticing sensations that are present. Perhaps a feel of the toes touching each other. Maybe a shoe or a sock. Taking notice of temperature. Perhaps feeling a sense of dry or warm. Simply allowing the awareness to rest in the tips of the toes, holding both feet in awareness. Exploring now the soles of the feet, the pads, the arches, the heels. Perhaps noticing a sense of pressure or weight if the feet are touching the ground, or a sense of lightness. Noticing in the feet there may be differences between the right and the left side. Seeing what it's like to hold both feet in awareness. Moving to attend to not just the bottoms but the tops of both feet. Detecting perhaps the curve of the foot, a felt sense of top or bottom, toe to heel. Just holding awareness with the feet. Should the mind wander, as it's likely to do, simply finding the breath and ushering it, allowing it to usher the attention all the way down the legs back into the feet. And becoming present to sensations, noticing the labels that we have for these physical feelings. And without getting too caught up into these labels, simply taking note. And following the breath, allowing it to move our attention up into the ankles and the calves, the shins, feeling and sensing the lower leg. Perhaps a sense of length from the long bones. Noticing perhaps pressure from the ground or from the legs touching one another. Bringing attention to a sense of temperature or movement of air, perhaps the feel of clothing touching the skin. Whatever sensations are present for you in the lower legs, in this moment simply taking note, with no need to change, simply observing what is here. Bringing a curiosity of attention to this one part of the body, the lower legs. And on an inhale, moving upwards to the knees, bringing the attention to sensations, perhaps of a slight bend, noticing what sensations tell us if the knees are touching the ground or slightly elevated. Taking note of sensations that might not just be on the outside of the knees or the skin, but also on the inside. this may be an area of history, perhaps an old injury. Notice the story that our mind may wish to follow and see if it's possible to simply stay with what's here now, in this moment. Noticing that the mind may have a label for that too. But in this moment, just curious about what it's like to pay attention to the knees. And moving up then from the knees, shifting awareness into the thighs and the upper legs, taking in again a large area of the body, holding in our attention both sides, the left and the right, noticing how the mind may do this, and seeing if the attention can simply be held in investigating the sensations here in the upper legs. Maybe a sensation of weight or heaviness. Perhaps sensations differentiating the bottom of the thighs from the top. And are these temperature, pressure, tingling? Whatever sensations are present here in this part of the body, simply bringing the attention to take note. Noticing that the mind may wander to other parts of the body, or perhaps louder sensations may be calling for your attention. Simply take note that these activities of the mind happen. They are the day-to-day wanderings. And see what it's like to gently usher the attention back to this part of the body, the thighs, the upper legs. Checking in with what's here. And shifting, moving ever so slightly up into the hips, the seat, sensing this part of the body that so often serves as a base, as a point of grounding or connection. And in this moment, attending to what is here. In the pelvis, the hips, the seat. In this part of the body, a sense of external versus internal may be notable. Perhaps sensations may be felt here, not just on the outside of the body, but on the inside. Possibly the movement of the breath may be making itself notable here. Processes of digestion. Noticing difference between internal sensations and external sensations. Or perhaps noticing they may be the same. Simply observing what is present in your body at this moment. Opening the awareness to allow in the entirety of experience of the hips, the pelvis, the seat. finding the breath as you shift up towards the belly, where movement in and out with breath may be more evident. But here too, taking note of the lower back, feeling the base of the spine, the muscles of support and stability. Noticing perhaps hard or soft. Warm or cool. Noticing that the breath may take the attention away from this part of the body, much like thoughts can pull us away. Following the breath may pull us in with the inhale and out with the exhale. Simply observing should this process go on, and ushering the attention back to the belly, to the low back. And then choicefully, intentionally shifting, moving up into the middle back, the chest, feeling perhaps the ribs, maybe a warmth from the core of the body may be noticeable here. Simply taking note of the sensations in this part of the body right in this moment. Perhaps feeling expansion from the inhale or a release from the exhale. Pressure or lightness. The feel of the clothing or the chair or rug beneath you may be notable here in the middle back. And perhaps sensations of discomfort or tightness may be making themselves known. No need to push any of these experiences away. In this moment, we're simply taking note of what is here. Bringing our awareness to whatever experiences show up in their entirety. Noticing that the mind may be drawn to focus on one particular sensation or another. Acknowledging this natural tendency, but with choice coming back to an experience of the entirety of this region, of the back, the chest, the ribs. And with that same intention, shifting up into the shoulders. Noticing the rise and fall with the breath. Perhaps an area of tightness, carrying. Simply taking note of what is here and shifting the attention down, all the way down the arms to the tips of the hands, the fingers. Checking in with sensations as they are present here. This part of the body that does so much feeling and sensing for us. In this moment, choosing to simply sense and feel the hands, the fingers, the palm, the backs of the hands, Here, differences between the two sides may be notable or perhaps not. Simply investigating and shifting then into the wrists. Perhaps a sense of flexion or softness. Being with what it is to take note of the hands, the wrists, moving up into the forearms, feeling the length from the wrist to the elbow, and into the elbows. Perhaps a sense of bend, noticing sensations of top or bottom. Moving up into the upper arms, the biceps. Here, perhaps moving inward again and detecting not just sensations on the outside or the skin, such as temperature or clothing, but seeing if there's any sense that's noticeable of muscle or bone, joint. It's part of the body that carries so much for us. The arms. Investigating what's here now. And on the next exhale, shifting the attention up into the base of the neck, feeling in the front, perhaps the throat and the back of the neck. Attending to this part of the body for a moment. Feeling the length of the neck from the shoulders up to the skull. Moving upward with the attention to the base of the skull. Beginning to allow the intention to circle the skull, the back of the head, coming around to the face, the jaw, moving up to the lips, the mouth, the cheeks, taking note of sensations both inside and outside. Here, perhaps new sensations that may not have been present in other parts of the body may be present here. Perhaps a feeling of taste, smell, moisture of the mouth. Here, a difference in inhale and exhale may also be notable. Simply holding the attention in the head, the skull, the face. And gently beginning to shift to narrow the attention into the nose or the mouth, to return the focus to the breath. Finding a sensation of inhale and of exhale. Following the breath as it moves into the body and is released. and shifting as we follow the breath, allowing the intention that we set at the beginning of this practice to come back into our awareness, keeping the light hold on this intention, allowing ourselves to take a moment to acknowledge, taking the time to be with this meditation practice, perhaps offering a sense of gratitude to ourselves for finding the time to